Hey Jeff, gonna show you your new camper. On your tires and wheels, 5 years on the tires. Wheel lugs are torqued to 120 foot-pounds. It's an aluminum wheel. Keep the tire pressures up. Highly recommended you go with what the manufacturer says on the tire. Moving down along, got your outside outlets here. Power up anything you want. This is your fresh tank fill here. Down underneath, tank drain is right here just forward of the wheels. You have two water drain points for the water system. A lot of people use them to winterize. I don't trust them. We always run antifreeze through the system. Furnace vents. I see it's a bunkhouse, so you want to make sure any kids don't get around it when it's running. It gets very hot. I do recommend a dauber screen. It keeps the majority of the critters out, and it'll save you a lot of money in the long run. The awning will get opened up when we make it around to the door. We'll just keep moving forward here. Thank you. My cameraman's being a smart aleck. You got your stove vent here. When you're cooking inside, there's a couple little clips that hold this shut. Just pop them out, and then your stove is venting to the outside. But with an outside kitchen, I'm sure you do most of your cooking outside anyway. The stabilizing jacks. All these are for is stabilizing the unit, not for lifting. Just retracting and extend. When they extend, they hit the ground. And it has a breaker that will trip if you hold it too long. Take about 2 or 3 seconds to reset if you need to hit it again. You got 2 manual crank handles. This one is for the slide room and the leveling jacks. If you ever have a problem with either one of them, you're going to want to have this handy. Of course, you know you've got a storage in the front compartment underneath. The tongue jack handle is over there on the other side. If you should ever have to manually take that up and down. Your tanks have been filled. The only anything used out of it is just from checking out the unit. You can have the auto changeover. The auto changeover, right now it's green, showing you've got fuel in your tanks. If it's pointed towards this one right now, when that goes red, that means this tank's empty. When it goes empty, it automatically switches over to the other tank. When you notice that, you spin it around, it's working off this tank. You can disconnect this tank, take it in town, get it filled up without having to shut your service down. I'm gonna go ahead and shut these off. That one's off. Don't take these to an exchange. You don't know what kind of junk you're getting from an exchange station. We do fill LP here. I've got a 12 volt deep cycle Continental battery. If you're dry camping, you may want to get an extra battery to have along with you. But if you're going to be at a park all the time, this is enough for what you need for slide rooms, tongue jack, stabilizing jacks. You do have a 12 volt refrigerator. It will go through that battery fairly quickly, so if you're not plugged in and don't have any charging going to it, then it won't last too awful long. Probably 8 to 10 hours. Keep moving around onto this side. This is prepped for a solar panel, so if you should ever want that, you can let us know and we'll get you hooked up. got your gray tank dump down here. You've got two different dump sites. Gray being up here, then your galley is up here, and your gray is back there. Kind of a pain at the dump site, but if you're standing in one spot, you can get a Y and put it all together. You've got a through frame slide room. That's what Ed and I prefer to see. If it starts making a little noise, a little bit of lubrication periodically is a wonderful thing to do. The flap seals and bulb seals, you do not have to put treatment on. If they should start dragging or dry rotting, then have them replaced. Here's your other two valves for your dump, for the toilet and the gray. You've got 50 amp power cord. It looks to be about 40 foot long. Got your satellite hookup, park cable hookup. On a park cable, if you have the on-site cable, I will show you the booster inside. You need to turn that off for park cable and then turn it on if you're going off your antenna. City water connection for on-site water. I do recommend using a pressure regulator for it. Tank flush for your toilet tank. If you are using it, keep the 3-inch valve open. You can get sidetracked and forget about it, and you can blow your black tank up. So make sure you keep it open. Every time you dump, try and do it. You'll be able to pick up a fresh hose or your waste hose for whatever purpose you need it for. We'll explain that a little bit when you come into the store. Water heater. All the controls are inside. You don't have to turn a switch on for the electric or anything. The two switches are inside on the control panel. We'll show you that in a minute. This is the drain plug. I do recommend emptying these if you're going to leave it stored for more than 2 weeks. Anything less than that, you should be okay. You want to make sure this is full before you switch it over to electric, because if you switch it to electric and it's empty, you're going to fry the element. The way to tell if it's full, you turn your water on, you open your pop-off valve. When you have water coming out your pop-off valve, you know your tank is full. For winterizing, you access the bypass valves under the lower bunk in the back. You got your mini fridge out here, your stove. This is a cast iron stove. Just like a Lodge cast iron, you need to have it seasoned. That way it'll explain how to season it in the booklet. You got your LP connection. Got a quick connect down under here. Plug it in, turn that valve in line. You'll have gas up to your stove. We put a double on because it was slightly tight, so you can lock the stove out. That way it doesn't go anywhere when you're trying to flip your bacon. Got your spray port here. Again, it's just a quick connect. A little tough getting big fingers in there though. we'll head on inside. Starting here at the door. Your LP detector is down there. LP is heavier than air, so if you have a leak, if that goes off, or if your battery gets low, it will chirp, just like a smoke detector. There's a little QR thing here that can give you RV owners manual information. Thermostat. Right now it's on. That's the inside temperature right now. You got fan low, fan high, cool high, cool low, cool auto. I recommend cool auto on high. You can adjust your temperature from here. It'll blink while it thinks, and then it'll go solid. You also have the same thermostat for your second air in your bedroom. It will not have the furnace option. Go to furnace, wake it up again, then you turn it to the heat, set your temperature, you're good to go. Had it way up there the other day. I'm going to take it down to sensible. When you get it home, you may want to run the furnace a little bit longer to burn off the new smell. We only run it for so long, and then we shut it down. To shut her down, wake it up again, and hit it to the off position. When I was talking about park cable, your antenna booster is back here. You want to turn that off for using the park cable. You turn it on for the antenna on the roof. Your satellite hookups here, if you should ever decide to get a satellite, portable satellite, no receiver. Furrion stereo. Your remotes are in the kitchen drawer for the TV and the stereo. On your monitor panel and convenience center, your slide switch is right here for in and out. On the monitor panel, you have your battery, your fresh tank, black tank, gray tank. This does have the auxiliary for the other tank. The higher it is, freshwater, you want it high. Wastewater, you prefer it lower. Water pump switch is right here for running off the fresh tank. Your front cap lights are right here. Your awning lights, there's a LED strip built into the awning. They're right here. You got your LP gas on this switch here. Now down here they have used this. This is the one for the electric side. You've got your two cabin lights here. And then a battery disconnect. Battery disconnect is for storage. When you're plugged in and you're wanting the battery charged, make sure it's in the on position. Awning extend and retract. I'll only be able to run this out part of the way. And if you would, tell me when it goes to hidden.
Good.
Okay. Well, I better back it up just a little bit.
So I didn't look at that end.
Good?
Yep.
All the lights on. Now when you're camping, if you're sitting out in the light rain, I recommend dipping the awning so it has flow to get off of it. Dip the awning. You just pull down on the friction hinge. put it up, put that back up, and then you can just run it back in. If the wind gets up a little too much, that's a lot of money to replace, so I highly recommend putting it up. My wife is very anal about our awning, so sometimes she gets too nervous. Leave it out, dear. 12-volt refrigerator. This is a Norcold. Got our temp set. That's the warmest temperature. 5 is the coldest temperature. I would run it on 3. It's an energy saving mode. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. There we go. Got a lot of good storage in there. Microwave, you've got a popcorn button. That's all I can tell you. On the stove, you got lighted dials.
You turned the propane off.
Oh yeah, I turned the propane off. Next time maybe I shouldn't do that. Now, this is your igniter. So when the propane's on, you hit that, turn it to high, it'll light right up. The oven. Take it right over there to pilot, and once the pilot's lit, then you can dial it up to wherever you need. When it's red, then it's showing you it's on. So now when you're cooking in these, with it being a small oven, I recommend using a round platter for biscuits and such. It gets a better circulation. Breaker panel and fuse panel. If you have any 110 or 12 volt issues, start right here. Up this side, if you have a blown fuse, normally it will have a little red light that comes on. 3-round stovetop. That's tied into that vent on the outside that we showed you. Your GFI outlet here controls probably half of the outlets. Anything in a wet location it controls. Your remotes are here. Any of the paperwork that came with the unit is right here. Water pump access is back in behind here. You got a screw down there you can take out, and I do believe these are prepped for winterizing on the pump. Your thermostat right there for the second air. You have mounting location if you decide to put a TV in the bedroom. Use very short screws. Don't use the ones that come with the TV. They're a little too long. Basically, we're down to the bathroom. The only thing I can recommend is on the toilet use, more ink with the paperwork. A lot of people tend not to use enough water when they flush, and you get a buildup of paper and solids in there, and it can be a bear to get out. hence using the tank flush every time you get a chance. There are different chemicals to use. There's deodorants, there's tank cleaners. Highly recommend, especially the deodorant, using in all 3 tanks at every camping trip after you've already dumped. And I'm thinking that's pretty close to it. There are USB ports around. Got some right here on the back of the dinette. I thought, didn't they have these in? Here. Okay. Yeah, there wasn't any in here. But I hope you have fun with it. If you have any questions, call. You can ask anybody in the shop and they'll fill you in. Thanks.